Well, when we talk about how we met, I would have to say it was a very, very, very long time ago.
In a galaxy far away.
In a galaxy far away. No, do you want to explain it about our mutual friend, ROC, Brian?
Yeah, it's like we
That's
grew up
kinda
in
where
the
it
city of
starts.
Detroit on the east side. I lived 2 blocks off of 7 Mile. Jamie lived 2 blocks from me, but we never met. We never ran into each other at all, ever. And there was a Boys and Girls Club that we both were joined to. Well, I was a little bit older than him, and I remember him always wearing these rock and roll T-shirts, Quiet Riot, you know what I mean? Led Zeppelin, like just all Ozzy Osbourne, and it stuck out to me. One day, walking through the gym, there was a room full of mats and pads and everything.
The romper room.
The rumpus room, right?
Rumpus room.
And
Rumpus
kids-
room, not the romper room.
Yeah, that's Mr.
Should have been the
Dress
romper
Up.
room. The way that they were acting, goddammit.
But he had, they built forts with all these mats, and these big kids were in there being super douchey to the little kids, and I didn't really play that. I was never one for bullying, so I went in there, clonked some heads, and he thought that was cool, and we met then.
It was a real Carrie Kelly, Robin scenario, like he came to save the day, dude. It was like...
So at the boys club, we'd be like, hey man, no clue that we lived where we live. Years pass, right? He's closer to like 14 now. I'm like 16 going on 17, and I have a friend named Brian, and he had a friend named Brian, and Brian would always talk about this kid, Jamie. Jamie, he's funny as hell. You gotta meet him, bro. Seriously, he's funny. He does this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, all right, let's go meet this funny Jamie.
What's so fab
And
about it?
and I went over and I was like, oh my God, it's the dude from the boys club.
I remember you,
blah,
fat
blah,
kid.
Blah, blah, blah. and from then on, we were the 3 amigos. Like everywhere, we went everywhere together. It didn't matter where it was, through the chance of, kids, well, I think they're gay, blah, blah, blah. Like we were just homies, always together.
It's true though.
And we found a way to navigate the jungle that we grew up in, because looking back on it now, we were a group of like 30 kids, 20 of them dead. Another 5 or 6 in prison for the rest of their lives. So like 4 or 5 of us made it out of there. We're 2 of them. Brian's another one. Like that to me is an immense testament to who we are as people, our coming up. And we grew up completely different. He grew up in a single mother household. I grew up with a mother and a stepfather. And our worlds just balanced each other.
I think that when we would come together, I think the time that we spent together was like a release from our private lives. And I say private lives, meaning like, your everyday humdrum family life. And when we would get together and watch Evil Dead or play Ninja Gaiden or whatever that was on the Sega, showing my age, on the Sega Genesis when it was new and freshly bought for Christmas, that time that we spent, that was our escape. That was us getting away from whatever reality dictated our day-to-day life.
Right,
and
we
I think
shared those escapes.
we did.
Like, it was like horror movies.
For
loved
sure.
it. Rap music, loved it.
Right.
Music in general, loved it. And connected through that. And just, that's been my brother since then. I mean, you're
what's up.
talking, I've known him and been with him longer than most of these people that are watching. It's probably even been alive for all I know, but
That's what's up. Fuck yeah. Right
it's
back
real,
at
it's
you. That's real
genuine.
shit.
It's not a partnership. It's a friendship that ended up being partners in a business. You know what I mean? A lot of
It's
people say
because
don't
we do
that.
everything together. It's inevitable. We might as well do a business together. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like we might as well like take our fate into our own hands and try to make, of life what we can. That's what we preach to everybody who listens to our music and hears our message, is like, take your own life and make something of it. Don't make excuses of why you can't do something. Make excuses of why you should do it, or find reasons or excuses of why you should do it. So just us being strengths for each other, then us finding the goals that brought us together, I think is like, that's like a lot of our history of who we are and how we get here. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Really and
absolutely.
truthfully, seriously.
Like,
and
you
it's
have
like,
to have a trust in somebody. Like, this stuff is bigger than me and him now. We got families
Absolutely.
and friends that rely on us, parents that rely on us. It's so much bigger. It's grown. We have kids that tell us every day, I can't talk to my mom. I can't talk to a teacher or counselor. I can talk to you and you understand that. Like, we have such an immense responsibility that has grown greater than us, that both of us understand that.
It's true.
I remember the day it spawned. Again, we were all at Jamie's house. Jamie would have the house to himself. He had this huge house. And when I'm telling you, there were 20 to 25 people that would come over all the time. Everybody rapped, everybody. So Friday, Saturday, the music just be going. I'd have a keyboard, somebody be making something on the drum machine, Brian would, somebody just be walking around freestyling, whatever. And one night, I was like, who is that? And it was him. And everybody was like, are you fucking serious? Nobody had a clue. You know what I mean? Jamie was a nice guy. He was friendly to everybody. There was a certain edge that came from Detroit that when I first met him, he didn't have. He wasn't a part of the city like that. He brought a whole new vibe, a whole different vibe of individuality. It didn't matter what everybody else thought was cool or what the fuck it was. He's gonna wear his rock shirts. He's gonna do what the fuck he did. So I respected that. But hearing that, me and Brian were like, I can't believe he's that good. Like, listen how he sounds, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Brian was already dabbling in the music. And he just happened to be like, I'm doing this thing with my cousin, but I'd love to do something with you guys. You know, we're friends, let's try something out. And immediately addicted, immediately. Like, it was his natural calling. And nobody would have called that. You would have been like, oh, he's gonna be an artist, he's gonna be something, blah, blah, blah. Never one of the best MCs I fucking ever heard in my life. Like, right from insane. It was the same thing when I heard Eminem. I was like, right people get a hold of him, holy smokes, dude. I mean, it was something special to behold. And I'll never forget that night of everybody being like, holy shit. You're on. And so when he started to do it, the neighborhood was interested. You know what I mean? And I watched this group called the Crazy Clan of 30 rappers dwindle down and down and down until it was me, Jamie, and Brian in a group called House of Crazies. And our thing was we didn't want to be like everybody else. We could have talked about the same shit, shooting up stuff, selling, just being criminals because we were that. But we had a different avenue that connected us. And
remember that earlier, talking about we found our escape in the horror movies?
It was horror movies.
That was what we channeled, and we were like, why don't we try to go and take that as an avenue and celebrate our love for that stuff? And it makes us feel at ease. What if we put that to music? Maybe people will dig that in the same regard.
Insane.
And that shit was, but that you're right though, and that's I think what came about with that. But there was a few failed bands in between there that came along. There was Legion of Boom, remember that?
I mean, there were trials and tribulations.
There was
managers. How many managers?
Oh my God.
How many money investors and stuff like that? Like,
what was it? Executive producers.
Right. You know, and you're just learning all these things, and you try to keep it in your circle, and it was just an immense learning process.
Absolutely. But there was that passion there, and there was just always, we didn't know what it was at the beginning, but there was always this idea that we knew that just being a normal person, the people you see everywhere, wasn't enough to command attention. I like it to kiss because I grew up with that kind of thing, but we took the horror movie thing and we were like, there's gotta be a way we can cover our faces or be this bigger than life persona, taking little parts and pieces of other things that captivated us as kids. We would go down the horror aisle and look for the best box art. That's how you picked it.
Yeah.
Fuck what the movie's about. It's about that box art. Oh, I'm holding it in my, look, this one's got a bloody sepulchre on the cover. This one's gonna be good. This is a good one. You know what I mean? And you're like, this is great. And it's like, so we learned things that we applied from that, you know, aisles and nights spent in those aisles at Blockbusters and the Hollywood movie to like what we were doing. And when we found people were interested in it, it kind of showed us that we were on some kind of path, whether it was the right path or the wrong path.
Right.
And as time would have it, you know, everything happens for a reason. We were introduced into different scenarios that happened for a reason, whether they were good or bad or beneficial to friendships or relationships, they happened. And that's what propelled us from being the House of Crazies into becoming Twiztid.
We
There was
had
a group
every
in
reason-
between there, but
Oh,
again,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Which was Infamous Superstars Incorporated, which was us. It was Paul, me, and Blaze. I was gonna say Chris.
Yeah.
But Blaze, your
Chris
dead homie.
Ruella.
Yes, Chris Ruella. It was us three as that. So, but I mean, before that, it's like that was what propelled us to become Twiztid.
We have found the perfect balance between career and family. And we believe that not involving them in stuff that they don't need to be involved in unless they choose to be was a huge part of it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like our
think he
kids at
means
5 and 6 and 7 were listening to our music or at our shows. You know what I mean? It was a responsibility to them as well. And through the end of the day, that is amazing to be able to find that balance. We don't miss birthdays. We don't miss, there's just certain things that we don't compromise for our family. And then there's things that they understand and respect. You're gonna be gone for 8 weeks. You know what I mean? We gotta hold it down. Everything can't fall apart. There becomes a trust and respect there as well. And you know, just out at a restaurant, somebody's like, hey man, what's up? Love your music, comped your meal. And they're like, what the fuck just happened? Because they're not, they don't see it all the time.
Right.
It's not like they're with us all the time. And I think that is special. That's very hard to be able to respect both entities to a way so that they're both successful. One doesn't suffer because of the other. But I think one of my biggest memories, dude, I always say it, is when because ROC had a studio in his basement, and I brought Eminem over there to listen to songs, and he fucking heard Murder, 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 and he was like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. I'm stealing that song. And I was like, don't be stealing our shit, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
Just joking around with him, and then through hindsight, man, M is a fucking wicked rapper, but somehow the world has labeled him other so that it doesn't give that genre its true light. Because we believe the horrorcore genre is the most creative genre that the world will not pay attention to. Not just us, everybody involved in it. The theatrics that go into it. You know what I mean? The DIY that goes into it. The fuck the major labels, we're gonna do this ourselves. You know, I work a restaurant gig, and on the weekends I go to studio until it pops. Like, the drive, the creativity inside of this world is immense, dude. It's immense, and I love that. And that's one of the main reasons we spawned it into a Comic-Con, because the creativity, the love of DIY, the love of getting together as a family. We only get to do it a couple times a year. We took advantage of that and gave them another shot, and Astronomicon, bro, is really something special.
As far as our sound, I would say that it's always had these rock attributes. There's always been a symbol of rock at the core. Even through House of Crazies, we would sample Rob Zombie and Marilyn
Jimi
Manson
Hendrix.
and the Doors and rap over it. You know what I mean? And that was our sound. That was our underground vibe. You know, you got to hear these guys. They take the dopest riffs and they spit this sick shit about cutting people's heads off. And it was like, so it was always at the core.
On CD.
And then
Cassette.
right, absolutely, a cassette, right? And then, but then as we go to Most Tasteless, we had songs like How Does It Feel, that were kind of like darker and kind of like on that more industrial grit side, I guess. So we always experimented with it. And then when we got to run the Helm and Freak show, we really kind of let it go and had more fun with the rock sound and introduced more shit into it. Like one of our most popular songs is We Don't Die, and it's got this, you know, guitar riff and, you know, like.
It's one of them ones. As soon as they hear it,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Right, exactly. It's like it's one of the songs that like introed us into that world and that scene. But it's like it's always been prevalent throughout our music, just not fully intense. So now this is an opportunity to be able to bring in Draven, who's our drummer, and he's, man, I mean, the guy, his credits, like, you know, we're talking Static X.
He's been in all kinds of bands.
You know what I mean? Like he's been there, done that, and it's like he knows his shit. He gets it, and I think that's why we brought him into the fold. His passion for what him and I do is on the level of one of those 7 people we talked about, so we make him 8, and number 9 is clearly Blaze Your Dead Homie, another one who just literally always will focus on Jamie and Paul, no matter what. And I think that kind of a dedication to us, like you guys always set the pace. I'm gonna make sure their shit is good because it will be beneficial to everybody, trickle down. You know what I mean? There's that kind of a trust again. You know what I mean? So
right. We're not grab the money and run kind of guys. You know.
No,
what
I mean like
we want everybody to eat.
You make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, because I think it's the same thing as before. Like we don't stop to smell the roses. We just kind of keep trucking. And then when you go back and you look, and it's like, damn, dude, a lot of shit has happened.
Yeah.
You're talking about a fucking record company and a gigantic hunk of clock, and we're here today. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, you know.
It's been a wild ride, man. And to think that it's all just gone up would not do yourself a service.
Right.
You'd be doing yourself a disservice. Like,
there's ebbs and flows and everything, of course.
But our sound, if you listen to Most Tasteless, and then you go listen to, I don't know, Mad Season, I'll give you that. Completely different. Completely different. We go into each album thinking it's not going to be like the last one. That's always been a conscious decision.
But you know me, if you give me an opportunity to put some rock in there, I will shoehorn that shit in there and get it in there. And he's like, fuck it, just let him do it. And I'm like, you know, so there's a little hint of it, just a smidge in almost everything we've done. But it's just, this is a whole new world, man, to where we're able to like make a whole record dedicated to that vibe and to do that and have it, the roles reversed. Instead of it just being a little bit of rock, it's just a little bit of rap.
I can tell you what we're working on. I don't know what we're going to get out this year, but we're working on Unlikely Prescription will definitely be out. The Lettuce is out.
The Lettuce is out.
There's one called the Demented Duo that we're working on. There's something for Halloween that we're working on.
That's called The Haunted Record Player.
Yep.
Songs of Sam Hain, Volume 2.
There's Astronomicon is happening, and who knows how many just one-off singles. There's a one-off for 420 that everybody will just be able to go download. Like
some special, Actually, they probably they will have already. You know what? You're probably enjoying that free single as you're watching this, and you can thank this guy right here, because in the work schedule, let it be told, in that work schedule, I forgot. And you know what he did? He pulled me aside and he said, "Where's the fucking free song, man?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "The free song. I'm recording it now. Do your parts and get it done." And sure enough, that's why you got it. And I think that's cool, because you know what? It's all about that. Again, it's a more part of the give back shit. I think it's cool.
Much as we
Thank you for that, by the way, because I legitimately was like, "What's this other song?" He's like, "Oh, that's the free one." I'm like, "Well played, sir. Yeah, way to get off it and get it. Yeah, let's get it." Only reason why motherfuckers don't do that is because they don't do that. And I thank him for doing that. That's all. That's why they don't do it, because they don't.
Yes, absolutely.
So I thank you for doing that. That was killer.
Yeah,
Good shit.
We're not removed from the situation.
For real, man.
You know what I mean? We're very, we're in-depthly involved in every facet.
It's like that. It was like that thank you said. It's like the extra song is just like some fucking gratuity, man. It's like it is a thank you. It's like a hey, man, here's something to put a smile on your face. Even if for 30 minutes, even for an hour, maybe you play it once, maybe you show it to your friend later on, and you're the shit because you got something they don't. You could put them up on game. I remember how that was with Jerky Boys back in the day. Come here, listen. He said he's gonna throw them off the rooftop.
The internet ruined the mystery.
Right. And you were the coolest guy because you could spread that info around. You know, so it's like, man, yeah, get it, have fun, enjoy it. That's awesome. Good shit, but a lot of stuff on the board, as you can clearly see, and
I'm forgetting. I know there's stuff that I'm.
No, that's a
like I said,
lot of shit.
Venomous 5 is went to mix.
That's
in the pipeline.
And Eastside Ninjas
is a full length.
That's done. The dates, the release dates, we don't know. Eastside Ninjas is done. Venomous 5 is about half done.
Yeah. Unlikely is done.
Unlikely is done. Yep. Demented Duo is half done, and the Haunted Record Player is about 3/4 done. So. And we're like, what, 420? So.
Right. We don't
just keep watching those interwebs. We'll have new music for you on the shortly.
Yeah, we probably just released another song while we're playing
Hair
this.
30. That's awesome. Yeah, really and truthfully, yeah, right? But that's awesome, though. That's how you got to do it, man. We understand, too, that we got to keep up with other people who want it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. It's wanting it is the true thing. It's like you can't make a motherfucker want it. We talk about this about leading people to water and forcing them to drink. You either want it or you don't. We want it, and we see other people that want it, and it's like to have that passion. It shows.
Yep.
actions and volume and vocals show and speak volumes to people that are like, yo, where's the content? Where's the content? Here it is. Here it is. Here's the video.
Constantly looking
Here's
for
this.
ways to evolve everything from ourselves as human beings to the merchandise to everything.
To keeping Twiztid on your mind and out of your mouth, either singing along with us or telling somebody about us and why they need to know about us. If you're watching this right now, that means you've made it to the end of this beautiful performance. We want to say thank you to everybody who participated and is watching this from the comforts of your couch. Thank you to Stained Glass Eye for filming this and bringing that Hollywood touch and putting up with us, because we are aggressive, and I'm not sure if I showered, and I think the mic guy smelled me, and I appreciate him for being professional.
Yep. Thanks to the Crowfoot for letting us wander around this place when nobody's here.
And letting
I'm
us
sure you're gonna
smoke weed
find some
profusely.
Fun stuff in the bathroom.
If you guys roll up those roaches, just make sure, don't smoke too much if you don't smoke a lot. Because he does, and chances are you probably won't come down.
But enough about them. We want to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. As we always say, we do. We love you forever. We thank you for everything that you do with us, for us.
I don't know where to look. I just keep looking up. I'm
I'm looking into your soul.
Thank you.
When I'm talking like this, I'm in your soul.
When he's got that pointer out, he's
soul.
pointing at your soul.
It may be a booger, but it's not just soul right now.
Yeah. We love y'all, motherfuckers. Thank you so much, man. Have a wonderful night.
Smoke up. Peace. 420.